What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Student Insider Podcast. I'm joined once again by Alex. Alex, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Luke. How you doing? Episode 11. We're
Episode
back
11, yeah.
after quite a while. What's it been? 5 months, but yeah, good to be back.
Yeah, it's been a good while. Things have happened, definitely. Like there's been stuff going on. I mean, I'm sure you've been pretty busy too, but we're back.
Yeah,
Getting excited. We've been planning some episodes, so we have new content hopefully coming out soon, and we'll get back onto this because it's been a good while. Like, so Alex, what have you been up to? It's been ages.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since we've actually done a podcast episode. We obviously we know what's going on, but we're in our lives and stuff. But we haven't really said much about the podcast. We haven't been here and done one for a while. We've been busy with stuff like uni, extra projects. You with iGEM, which you being team leader as well. That's like,
oh yeah, that's been a new thing. Have I even spoke about that yet? I don't even know.
I'm not sure if you talked about it. If we talked about it on here yet. But yeah, a lot going on. Like I've been doing some more freelance work and video, finished second year of uni, you as well. Like I think what we should do, as we started a while ago, question of the week.
Oh my God. Do you have a question? Because I haven't thought about this at all.
Well, I was sitting here, I was thinking of something. So, okay, so this is the question I'm going to hit you with.
Right,
let's go. See. So what is something that you're proud of that you've done in the last 12 months? And
12 months.
If you were, and anything from like the last day to 12 months ago. And if you were looking back at your past self 1 year ago, what is one thing that you wish that you like changed or done or like pursued?
Damn. Well, I think in the short term, I think getting into the gym is definitely a big thing because like over lockdown, I hardly did. I don't think I did any exercise actually. Because I was like day in and day out, like doing project work. iGEM last year, I spoke about this way too many times at this point. So that's what I was doing. So I just didn't have time to exercise. So I'm kind of glad that now, like I've got myself out of that kind of cycle of just working and actually like, wanting to improve myself and everything. So I'm pretty proud of that. It's a good start. And I've been going like nearly every day as well, which is a big change. Like I used to go like once or twice a week and I'm going like nearly every day. I don't know where this motivation has come from. It's a bit random, but and then what would I tell myself a year ago? So a year ago would have been like the end of first year.
Yeah,
like after the summer.
Like
after the summer.
Or it would have been like going into second year, like maybe like a 1-2 months away from going into second year. So like summer.
Like, I mean, like I don't know. Like I definitely like changed a lot like over the first year of uni. And I haven't really had like sat down to really think about like what's happened like over this year because it's just been so like full on for me. Like first like from August onwards, I was like still finishing the project until like November, and then like had some Christmas time off. Completely crashed over Christmas. Like I had no energy left after that year. It was rough. And then from January, I was like picking back up the projects as team leader this time. So yeah, it's been a lot. But I'm trying to think what I would have told myself. Probably just like don't panic maybe because like you can do it because there was times where I was like working and I was just like and I think I can do this like 5 modules in like second year first semester and doing iGEM on the side was like nearly impossible. Like I struggled so much, so I probably would have told myself.
I was shocked when you told me that like 5 modules in one semester. How many did you have in second semester?
Just the 3.
Yeah. Mine is 3 modules each semester. Well, last year was 6 across the whole year, but they changed it per semester.
Okay.
Now
they're probably like no, sorry.
Yeah, they switched. Go on.
They're probably like with my modules, like because I have to do like 8, like 4 each semester. So they're probably like the equivalent, but yours are probably a bit more like content heavy, I guess.
Yeah. I was thinking like we flipped this question to me. And I'm just thinking over the last 12 months. Like I remember start of 2021, so maybe 8 months ago now, start of August. I remember sitting down, writing down like not New Year's resolutions because like everyone says, oh, set New Year's resolutions, but I prefer like goal setting, like saying, okay, what is something that if I look 12 months from now, what do I want to achieve? And I sat down, wrote down my goals, and then what I do is try and associate habits with those goals. So I actually do them, like do what I say I'm going to do. And a lot of them I didn't pursue per se really until like the last really, some of them, yes. Like I put a goal of trying to get first in this year at uni, fell just shy of it by 3%. So I got a 2-1. But I was like, I was happy with that.
Yeah, that's still a really good score though, honestly. Like, it's not easy getting those like percentages. So great job on that. That's good to hear.
Cheers, man. It's like, I always believe if you set your goal a bit higher than you actually want, like if you set an ambitious goal, you're more likely to achieve it. Because if you set yourself like a mediocre goal, you're probably going to get that or below it. So it's like, if you set your standards higher.
100%. Like, it always used to annoy me so much when like during school, when people were like, oh, I just want to pass this module, or like obviously like uni's module, but like at school, like I just want to pass, get a C, like, and just be all like done with it. It's not like the way to go about it, because like, you know, if you aim for a C and you work hard enough to get a C, like if something goes wrong, you've got like no buffer, right? So I guess that's what you're saying there.
Yeah, it's like if you put them like you're setting the standard of mediocrity, like. So if you can set that higher than yourself, then you're more likely to hit that, or maybe just below it, and then you might fall higher than you actually would have done if you just set that low goal. And like I remember we mentioned like a while ago, we were sitting down talking about the podcast, and I said something when we were just planning, and it really made me reflect on what I was saying. I journaled quite a bit about it. And like journaling has been such a good habit for me for the last 2 years that like it's helped me process so much, like just developing thinking, what do I want to do? I have a page in Notion, which I've mentioned 2 billion times on this podcast. But
Notion, we need a sponsor at this point, honestly.
Yeah. Like I have a page called Thoughts About My Career. And I still don't know what I want to do in life in general, but I've developed so many developments in what I think I want to do through just writing down my thoughts, through journaling, through trying to process that thing. Like I remember when I was on the train back up to Norwich, however long ago that was, and I just felt a bit frustrated. So I was just like, I got my like notebook. I was just like journaling my thoughts out. I'm trying to figuring out what I'm doing for the next year for replacement year, and like I was feeling frustrated, like something might not work out, like whatever, but like I've got some things in the pipeline, but whatever, and maybe just like feeling frustrated if things don't work out. But like I know I've got things that are going on, and I was just like journaling and just planned out like, I've actually got these things going on, and like figuring it out just through writing it down. And I remember saying something, like going back to what I was saying, I remember saying something to you, and I said it in like a joking way, but I knew deep down that I realized then that was something that I needed to work on. I remember you saying, relationships first, podcast second. And then I said something like, oh no, podcast first, and then I did relationships. And then I realized that as soon as I said that, I realized, oh shit, like I've got too much of this hustle culture kind of thing. Like I've been putting work on too much of a pedestal instead of like focusing on the important things. Like not like I'm saying I never focused on relationships, but I realized that I was not focusing on as much as I wanted to. And when I said that, maybe I don't know how long after that, it made me realize, okay, there's a problem there. Let me like obviously it depends what you want to prioritize. And I realized a goal of mine, going back to when I set my goal, was actually I want to focus a bit more on like friendships, relationships kind of thing. And 100%. I read and like maybe it took me saying that, journaling, writing down goals, so many things and that I think was really helpful, because I think my relationships have strengthened a lot in the last 3-ish months, I think, in general. And I'm just something up onto the question that I asked about the question of the week. But
awesome. Like,
and also How to Win Friends and Influence People. I mentioned the book before. I finished it not too long ago. It's a really good book. If you like, if anyone's struggling and they say they don't have friends, they don't know what to do, I just read the book. It's so like useful. It's not like you might think, oh, why are you talking about? Some people think like, oh, why are you going to talk about those things? Like it's just a general human thing. Like some people, like genuinely being interested in people is like part of society. And it's a really good book. It's got some good principles, and even applying it to business and like with me doing freelance client work, it's something that I've applied to like developing those relationships with people and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty good book as well.
Awesome. We'll be sure to put that in the show notes. And if you have like any pages specifically that you think were really helpful, maybe like point those out.
Full of highlights everywhere,
but maybe we'll see. But no, that journaling thing sounds like awesome. We'll have to sort of unpack that a bit, like in another episode, I think, because that sounds like a really interesting thing, like honestly. And I definitely agree in that relationships and like sort of your life outside of your career is really important. and it's something that I've been emphasizing a lot more over this year. I think that would be like one of the biggest lessons I've had, like because beforehand, like especially before coming to uni, I was like, I just need to do well and not worry about anything else. Like nothing's going to get in my way. Like I'm going to get where I need to be. And that's sort of how it was in first year as well. I was like, oh, this is so new. Like, I just need to like make sure I do like as the best I can. I mean, I did really well in first year. But at the same time, I did sacrifice a lot in terms of like going out and seeing friends and you know, making those like friendships and stuff. They were still there, but I definitely feel like they could have been like a lot more developed and a lot stronger, because there was times where I was just like, I can't go out because I need to work. But in reality, I probably could have done like a bit of sacrifice on the work just to like enjoy that moment while it was there. So yeah, definitely this summer, even though like I've had this massive project going on and like this really important role for the team, like being a team leader has been a wild experience, but that's definitely something for another time. I could go into so much and like unpacking that. But yeah, like, so even though I've had this position, I've just been putting a lot more like focus on like sort of seeing friends and, you know, going out, like enjoying London while I'm here, because I'm not going to be here forever, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like the uni only lasts 3-4 years, depending on your course, and it's like there's some people say that uni is the best time of your life. I don't know if that's true or not, but like yeah, like savor the moment. Like don't if you spend all your time working, it's like
exactly.
It's just go back to that thing we talked about like way at the start of this podcast, like work-life balance. And I remember saying after we done that one, is like, oh, I don't really have the biggest work-life balance, but
yeah, like this is a crazy thing about doing these things. Like you mentioned earlier, like just that one thing I said like on a whim, like as a joke, like really had like a big impact in it. It's sort of like helps us both. I think this is why I love doing this so much, honestly.
Yeah, I like yeah, it's just like good to dive into whatever topic we're talking about, and even if it's like a lack of structure, like we haven't really planned much for this episode, but like it's literally just I love trying to dive into deep topics or like something meaningful or something that might, like, even if it's us having a conversation and someone learning something from it, or someone getting them a thought, or us having our own thought, we like, oh, that's something that we could work on, like something like it's like improvement, like helping other people improve, helping ourselves improve, or like just being more intentional and stuff. I just, yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of into that kind of stuff. But
I know, I mean, definitely, you can definitely tell from the YouTube and everything, right? Like,
yeah,
I think that if you lose your drive for like any improvement, you really need to do something, like, because it's so easy just to get comfortable. And I think that you should always like put yourself out of your comfort zone and learn new things and just like expand that bubble. Like it's like putting new furniture in a room, right? Like you walk into this new room with like no furniture and you're like, damn, this is so uncomfortable. Like you're sleeping on the floor. And then like, you know, you try something new and you start walking in, putting furniture in, and like, damn, it's really comfortable. I don't know. That's just an analogy I thought off the top of my head.
That's an analogy.
There you go. So
like talking about comfort, like going out of your comfort zone. Like when I was at a coffee shop a couple of weeks ago, I heard of this coffee challenge, like it's like a comfort zone coffee challenge, where you go up to the person, like the person serving the coffee, the barista, and you literally just ask for 10% off your coffee. It's like just something small to like push you out your comfort zone, just like asking for 10% off. Like you can't say there's a challenge, you can't say that someone told you to do it. Like you literally just go in and you ask for 10% off. It's something that seems very small, but some people might find it daunting. The first thought I had when I heard of this challenge, that's a bit, I don't know. And then I was literally in Greg's, and then I was like, oh, that coffee challenge. I go 3, 2, 1 in my head. Can I get 10% off that, please? And it's like not overthinking it, not letting my brain go into overthinking mode. That's anytime I've ever had a thought towards a hesitation of saying something or starting a conversation, I just go 3, 2, 1 and do it. Like no matter, like that way you're going past that overthinking thing in your head. I want to do this challenge more. I've done it only once, and the person said, sorry, we don't offer that. I was like, okay, that's fine, I'll pay for it anyway, because like the whole point is just to try and push yourself out of your comfort zone, doing things which you find a little bit of uncomfortable, and in general will just make you more confident in general.
Yeah, 100%. And you can reap the benefits of 10% off occasionally too, which is great.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, financial thinking. And then just be like, what about 15, 20? Just keep going with it. That sounds really good. It reminds me of something like that happened with me, like, and my friends recently. So I was just in Costa for some reason, can't really remember, probably working. And one of my friends, instead of getting like is it a chai Thai latte? Got
I don't really know.
Oh, well, one of the two, or it got a like a latte instead, which is like actual like really really coffee. And I've heard a chai latte is like no coffee at all. It's like basically milk. And he like really wasn't going to drink it because he's not a big coffee person. And I was just like, oh, just fine, just like go up to the person and just like just change it, like just be like, oh, I don't want this anymore. Like you got the wrong one. Like what are the staff going to do? They're not going to be annoyed or anything, right? But he just wouldn't do it. Like he was just like refused. He just like did not have the confidence. Like he just felt like being such a nuisance, like just by going up and asking for like a different drink. But it wasn't even his fault. So I don't know if that's just like him being like really sort of empathetic for the staff and like not wanting to like hassle them in any way, or just like a really bad like confidence issue. But it really shocked me. I was like, wow, like I wonder if I was like that at some point, you know, like I just wouldn't want to talk to staff at all. And I just like do the absolute minimum to like get my food and ordered to me and stuff. But I don't know, I'd have to sort of look into that. You know, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like you don't maybe like not wanting to bother someone. So you're like, oh, you don't want to do it. Like, and then maybe it's going to the thing of caring too much about what other people think. Like in reality, this just a person that is working in a coffee shop. Their job is to make coffee. I'm sure they don't mind. Like if they got it incorrect, like they got people that work in retail and stuff where they're serving people. They got good people skills, right? So they're probably gonna be all right with it. But anyway, you got a good point on like the confidence and like. And I'm reading this book currently called the subtle art of not giving a F. I don't know if they will block us out if I use the actual word, but yeah. So and one point that he made with it was like if you realize yourself doing something and you're not happy with it. So like say you've got like I don't know, going to like the thing that you said is like, oh, maybe you're being like paranoid about something or whatever. Like instead of being annoyed at yourself and then going, it's kind of, they call it like the feedback loop of hell or something like that, like a negative feedback loop. It was like, so it's like if you think, oh, you're annoyed at yourself for doing that thing, and then you get annoyed for being annoyed at doing that self, then you're going yourself into like a negative state. But if you go, oh, I'm annoyed, oh, I done this thing, I'm a bit annoyed, who gives a damn, move on with my life. Like it just gets rid of that whole possible negative experience by just not giving an F and moving on.
Yeah, I like that mindset. Yeah, I think that's like a good mindset to have, but I think you'd have to be very careful with it, right? Like, because you know you don't want to just be like accidentally trip someone up and be like, oh my god, I'm so like, never mind, I don't give a
obviously,
yeah,
yeah.
Be careful with it, but no, I like that.
Like everyone,
It's like don't like brood over things, right? Like don't think about it too much because you'll just like it's like it's happened. You just got to like deal with it. Make sure you don't do it again, like, you know. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm just trying to think like in terms of that like whole coffee thing, like because I at one point probably like year 10, 11 didn't have like any confidence at all really. And it only started to pick up after I started pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Like I was great with people I knew, but in terms of like strangers, it would like petrify me, like going up to like anyone, like strangers, and just being like, oh my god, I have to actually talk to this person. They don't know who I am or what I want or anything about me, and they're probably going to really judge me. And it was just it was really bad. But basically, what happened is like I worked in, I think I've mentioned this before on here actually, but I worked in like a bank like for 2 weeks in year 10 or 11, and the guy that like owned the bank basically was like, okay, I need you to stand at the front and like survey people on their experience in the bank. And I was like, oh my god, like I was like doing my best, like actively like get myself out of it, like, oh sorry, I'm doing something else right now. But eventually I got around to doing it, and I don't know what like kind of clicked with me, but I think it was just like the sort of the expectation that like it had to be done. And then I was just thinking like, you know, like I don't want to be like I'm too nervous to do this, like when the, you know, they've let me into the bank and like I've done all the process of like getting there and all the paperwork. I just felt really bad. So I was like, you know, is it really too much for me just to like just say hello, or at least, or like be like, can you just fill this out for me? You know, it's not that bad. So I just sort of put on like a facade for the day and, you know, just like sort of tanked through it. And then I don't know, from there on it just went upwards really. Like it was just like, oh, you know, now I spoke that I can just talk to anyone. And it's now I'm fine really with talking with anyone. I wouldn't really, unless they were like really intimidating, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's really good thing. It's kind of like you just made the step. You just pushed yourself out of that comfort zone. You like kind of done like the fake it till you make it. Like, oh, I'm confident. Let me just do it. Like you had this pressure. Like I need to do it, so I'm just gonna do it. And then you realize, oh wait, it wasn't that hard. Like we're all humans. Like it's not that difficult to speak to someone. Like and like I remember being unconfident before as well. And I don't know what this thing pushed. What if I could link it to one thing? Maybe switching when I moved sixth form, like to a different school.
Oh, I remember you like in sixth form. It's so new. I was like, who is this man?
Yeah, so I reckon that probably had a big impact on my confidence. I done like drama stuff in like extracurricular drama stuff in secondary school. What year was that? Like probably mid secondary school. I did that, and that was probably something that had a impact on confidence as well. Also, just moving to uni and just trying different things, doing this podcast, making YouTube videos, meeting other people, reaching out to people that I look up to, other creators. I don't know, just like general, just doing other stuff, like going to these random filmmaking things, going to like, I don't know, just doing these little things over time, I think has just increased confidence. So it's kind of like the 1% rule I like to look at is like, you try to get 1% better every day. And you'll be like so many times better in like a year, and like 10 years, even 2 years, even you probably won't recognize yourself because you've like just made that little bit of change. You've just done something that pushes you outside your comfort zone, and it might not even take 2 minutes. Like it's just those little things that accumulate. There's this cool thing that I read the other day, something called the $8 million janitor, or the $8 million
janitor.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, this is an interesting story. So there was this guy, right? He worked in a petrol station or something for 20 years.
20, wow.
Yeah, and something like this. I might get things a little bit wrong, but something like that. And then he retired for a year, and then he got really bored. So then he ended up working as a janitor for the next 20 years until he passed away. And it turned out that he ended up putting loads of money that he earned, like all the money into the stock market, like diversifying his stocks into like loads of different shares, and ended up that all that accumulating compounding interest ended up making him $8 million by the time he passed away. And then he ended up giving that to a hospital, a library, and then family and friends. I think it was like 4 million to the hospital, 2 million to the library, 2 million to family, friends, something like that. And that was just by the fact of slowly accumulating more and putting into the stock market. And he was really like frugal with his money. Like he had $8 million technically, and he drove like a really old Toyota. He would have the same like breakfast every day of like a slice of toast with peanut butter and a coffee or something. He would when he went to see his lawyer, he used to park far away where it was free instead of paying for like parking. And it was just like, it's amazing when you think about over time what that can do. And like,
that is crazy. I mean, it would be lovely to talk to someone like that just to see what their mindset is on that kind of stuff. Because if you have that money, you'd maybe want to make your situation more comfortable, but then again, like staying naive to the situation can also be like a good way of like avoiding like temptation. 100%, I think. That's crazy. I guess it's just like, it doesn't really matter like where you work. I guess you can always like do something with the money, like stocks and everything. Like, not really my kind of thing. I wouldn't even know where to begin with like investments and but something I'd definitely be interested in.
I feel like sometimes it can feel daunting to do stuff, but sometimes you just like try and experiment and see how it goes, and sometimes it's like easier than you think it is. It's not, maybe not easy, but it just takes time to learn. Like I remember looking back at like one of my first videos that I made, literally a load of pictures just mashed together in Windows Movie Maker in like 2014. And
nice.
And like if I looked at what I can make now, which I think is somewhat decent, like I would be, no way I can do that. That's like impossible. Like, but it's just like accumulative, doing things like not every day, not every week. Like the next time I made a video from 2014 might have been a couple of years later. And then maybe I really only got it back into it 2018, 2019, into like this kind of like creative stuff. After like not doing I done a bit of it like when I was a bit younger, then I was like, I didn't really do much about it, and then got back into it around a couple of years ago or so. And it's just like, slowly over time. I remember looking at a video from like 2018 or 2019. I was so like unconfident on camera. I was like so nervous. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was putting my arms. Like it's really cringy to look back on. But it's just like, yeah, just like going to the thing I said, like 1% rule, like just trying to get a bit better every
Yeah,
time.
like we all start somewhere, right? So there's no
Hmm.
need to like feel embarrassed at all
Yeah,
with anything.
exactly.
Like it's like, you know, yeah, when you like as you said, like 1%, just keep like practicing and practicing. Like you can do anything really. Like
Hmm.
there's some exceptions because there are things that are very like inaccessible, I think. Like certain sports, you know, if like I don't know, like buying a horse, for example, if you wanted to do like equestrian or anything like that.
Hmm. Yeah,
You know, pretty inaccessible. But for the majority, I think if you put your heart and soul into it, you can definitely achieve it. You know, it's all
yeah.
about setting those long-term goals, thinking ahead and planning.
And
Like,
yeah, and thinking smart as well. Like I knew by the time, like I've always loved basketball, but I knew I was not going to be in the NBA because I was like 5'10" now, probably around 6 foot. Like the chance of me going into the NBA, I could probably train 12 hours a day, but it's still going to be such a low percentage and chance because I've got a massive unfair advantage. There are people that are 6'8", like they've got
yeah, it's crazy.
they colleges would rather take on or like rather take people on that are taller and less skilled because they know they can train them up and they've got a more unfair advantage. And yeah, it's just about playing, also being smart about those kind of things in general.
Damn, yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy if that is true, but I mean, you can always become the best that you can be, and that's anyone can
Mm.
really ask like of you with anything, right? Like you might not be the tallest, but you can still play basketball like really well.
Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't mean quit on your dreams just because you're small. Like if you really want it
You
enough,
short
like
kings
do
out
it.
there. um, yeah, 100%. There's an anime called Haikyuu, which is a volleyball anime, and the main character is like I think like 4'10", like tiny, but he makes up for not being able to reach over the net by jumping really high. So it's like a good show. Really gave me some motivation, you know. It's like
Yeah, I remember
even yeah.
seeing video. Yeah, I remember seeing videos on YouTube of like this guy that was like 4'11" and dunking a basketball, or maybe just like 5 foot and dunking a basketball. I was like respect, like that's not easy at all, especially at that height. Like, that must take years and years and lots of training to be able to do that.
Yeah, 100%. I guess I had like a similar thing where in my judo club, eventually I stopped going to like the kids classes because like it just felt a bit wrong like beating up kids. Like they were like 16 and I was like sort of reaching like 17, 18. I was like, this is kind of
Mm.
unfair. Like I was really good at it at this point as well. I'd been doing it for years. So I've decided to start going to the adult classes. And oh my God, like the change was like drastic because I was going from fighting like 16-year-olds to like people like plus like in their 30s, like really, really big people, like
Mm.
strong and or experienced because you know they've been fighting like harder people and stuff. So like getting integrated in there was difficult, but you know it didn't stop me from like still trying. Like I got beat up like a lot at the beginning, but eventually you just have to like just work with it, you know. Like they're going to be bigger
Yeah,
than you, they're going to be stronger, but there's still ways around it. Like with judo, it's even if the person's like ginormously bigger than you, there's still a way to like put them like, you know, there's still a way to win. And it's just like you just have to learn the techniques really. So there's
and
always
it's a way
hope.
of yeah, exactly, and there's a way of improving as well. Like if you're only surrounded by you're say training with people that are not as good as you, say you're the best, you're not going to get much better. But if you're the worst person in the room and you're surrounded by people that are much better than you, then you're automatically going to get better because you need to be able to compete with those people. You're going to want to be on a higher level. So like if you're always the best in the room, you're not going to get any better. If you're the worst, if you keep becoming if you're the worst in the room and then you level up with a competition that people you're against and you level up again, you're going to improve. That's how you improve because if you're around, yeah, like I say, that's the only way to do it. Like, yeah,
Yeah, it's like being the biggest fish in like a pond and then being thrown into the ocean, you know, like that kind of
mm.
situation, right?
Yeah,
It reminds me a lot of like yeah, have you I mean you probably watched like a fair amount of like X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, like in
mm.
your specifically X Factor. And you see singers go on there like with their families and you know they really like sing their hearts out, but they just don't have like that sort of you know like talent that they need. Like you know it's like it's harsh to say. That's why they put people like you know like Gary Barlow and Simon Cowell on the show because they're like the ones that are just like yeah they just know. Like some people just aren't for it, which is fair enough. Like not everyone can sing.
Yeah.
But what I've seen is like families like really really big up their children and then they go on the show and then like they're just terrible. Like no other way of putting it. Like they're just really not it. Like and it's I think that's the same thing. It's like it really depends on who's around you. Like if people say you're the best, you'll believe you're the best unless you like see otherwise, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You need like being praised is so good and it's so motivating, but you need like actual advice. You need actual like feedback from people that actually know what you're doing, because like if you think you're the best and you're not actually that good, then you're just going to be living in this false reality of like how actually things are going on.
100%. That's why like, I think that, you know, like those kind of people that are like stone cold and like rarely give like any like praise for anything, but like when you do something that's like really good and you finally get that bit of praise, I think they're the best kind of people for like motivating you personally. Like, you know, that was like I had one of my like old teachers for rugby, like never ever gave like any praise for anything, and then but then on those occasions it would just be like thrown out and you'd be like so surprised by it, like wow, like I must have done a really good job to finally be getting like some praise, and it really is motivating. I think, I don't know if you know anyone like that, but
that's a good thought. It's kind of like, because like genuine praise is really important, and I think that's really like motivating. But I guess what you mean is like maybe they're holding it back a little to add to the meaning of it when they do say it, and then maybe that makes it even more impactful for the person. Yeah,
like 100%.
That's an interesting thought.
It's like if you were to like, if I was to say to you every day, like, damn, like I really like the way your hair looks today, and I said it every single day, you just be like, damn, like I know my hair's good at this point, you know, like it just wouldn't become special anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, because if you keep praising, then it's not going to add any meaning to it. But it's like in good amount, in correct doses. It's like that's where it has an impact for someone.
Yeah. So that's like I completely think that like those kind of people, like the best kind of people. Like my supervisor for my project, stone cold, like like broken English from like speaking like Polish, really, like absolutely stone cold. But you know, when you get praise from him, it's like it's fantastic. It's like wow, like we're really doing a good job right now. So, and it really does motivate you. So, best kind of people for motivating anyway. That's what I think. I don't know about you.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So yeah,
cool. How long have we been going? I think that's been like 30-40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to wrap things up. Yeah.
Okay, so thanks a lot everyone for listening. We just getting back into the podcast groove. Random catch-up episode about some random thoughts. The title will be whatever we title it, but yeah, thanks a lot for listening. We'll have more planned things coming soon, and make sure to all the algorithm friendly stuff. Give us a review on iTunes, share it with your friends,
like, subscribe, and share
all those amazing stuff
with 10 friends, and then you ask them for 10% off of something.
Yes. Yeah. Do the comfort challenge. Push yourself out the comfort zone.
Give it a go and let us know. It sounds awesome. I might give it a go and see what happens. I'll probably get some like weird eyebrow raises, like, but we'll see. But you know,
when I did it in Greg, someone was like, "Oh, nice, you asked for a discount."
It's like people are so scared of doing it, right? Because you don't just be like, "Can I have this for free?" Because you just know it's going to be like no.
Yeah, so it's like realistic.
Yeah, 100%. But anyway, pleasure speaking to you again, Alex. Looking forward to some future episodes. Yeah, we've got some like, I mean, even today we brought up some like really good topics that we could talk about in future. So yeah, we'll look into those and see how things go. But yeah, no, 100% excited to get this kick-started again.
Awesome. Okay, thanks a lot for listening, everyone, and we will see you soon.
Bye.